Hi, welcome to the start of another reading vlog. So this vlog will just be spanning from the next few days. Today's Thursday, and I thought I would try and finish out reading Immortal Dark. So I finally picked this one up. I did plan to read it next week when it's more closer to Halloween. I wanted to do like kind of reading vampire books for that week, but I changed my mind because I kind of got into a bit of a reading slump while trying to read attempting to read multiple romance books that all failed me. So I switched back to what I know and love, which is basically fantasy type of books. And this one is a dark academia with vampire books, so I'm really enjoying it right now. It has such great tension, and honestly, the two characters definitely do remind me of Jude and Carden. Basically, the conflict between Jude and Carden is very similar. The way they fight with each other, it's very similar. So I do think it's a great comparison in the Crow Prince aspect about this book because this book is pitched as the Crow Prince meets Ninth House. I've never read Ninth House, so I don't know about that pitch if it works. But I definitely think it fits with the Crow Prince, with Jude and Carden, the way they fight and argue and their true hatred for each other because two characters in here definitely hate each other. So Sanos, he reminds me of Carden a little bit, the way he's very alluring but also like uncaring about everything, but really does he not care about anything? And he's not as playful as Carden, but he is a bit carefree compared to the main girl in here, Kidan. She is not carefree at all, just like Jude. They are very angry and always pissed off and ready to fight all the time. And I really love characters like that, especially women characters like that. So I'm enjoying it for sure. I'm on chapter 32 right now and I'm at page 170. So it's a total of 400 and something pages. I don't think I'll finish it today, but I want to read a big chunk of it today and see if I love it more because I've only been reading this one in like short sit-ins. I haven't actually spent a long time just sitting and reading this one. So that's why I haven't gotten a big chunk of the way through this as of yet. But I think today I'll try to do that since it's my day off. But I also do plan to go out today to do some writing, so we'll see about that. So yeah, that's the only book I have on the agenda for this next few days. I know I will be picking up something else after I finish Immortal Dark. I'm just not sure what, so I'll update you then. And I also want to work on my coloring book. I only did one page from the last time that I had talked about this book. Let me show you guys. So it was this book. I did this page, and I want to find another page. I want to find another page to do, so I'm gonna look through it and see which one catches my fancy. Well, this one is a cafe. It's more similar to the other one I did, but I think I'll do this one. So yeah, those are the plans for now, and I'll update later. Okay, I'm on chapter 39 now. I did start off with chapter 32, and it's only been like 20-30 minutes now since I've been reading this. But that's because the chapters are quite fast to get through. They're like 1 to 5 pages at best. I think the longest chapter was just like 9 pages, which is not much. But I actually love that. I love short chapters. And Kidan and Susanos, they are kind of becoming partners of it because of something that happened, and I want to see where that goes because before this, they just hated each other so much. But I was loving that part. They still hate each other very much, but they're like really, what do you call it, reluctant partners? Yeah, they're reluctant partners because it would benefit them both if they partner up together. So that's where I'm at. I'm really invested in the mystery surrounding Kidan's sister June. She is at this academy. The only reason why she even decided to go to this academy relating to her family's history, is because she needs to find out who took her sister. She's quite sure a vampire took her sister, and she is sure it's her family's vampire. And the whole point about it being her family's vampire is like in this world we have these different families that each of them have this they each of them have vampires assigned to their house, and those vampires can only feed from those families. They cannot feed from any regular human being outside of the family. But she is a bit one-minded. Like right now she's only her mind is only set on, you took my sister, I'm so mad at you. But I don't believe he did it. I really don't. But that's how I'm thinking about Immortal Dark so far, but I'm really enjoying it. It's later in the day. I made it to chapter 49, so that was 10 more chapters since I last updated. I'm very much enjoying where it's going, where the story has been progressing toward. Definitely has me intrigued, and I'm hoping for the best for Kidan because I love that girl. She's definitely very dark and conniving, and I love that in characters, so I'm rooting for her all the way. But I think I want to watch some cozy movie or show at the moment. I just finished watching The Iron Giant. I got that was a recommendation from this YouTuber. I think I'll put her name here. She had like this ultimate fall guide with different TV shows, movies to watch during the fall season that she thinks fits for the fall season. One movie I really love watching during this season is Caroline. So I think I'm gonna either watch Caroline or Hilda, the TV show. I've already watched all the seasons. I watched the movie too, and I think Hilda fits very much for the fall season. But it's more like a cute type of middle grade vibe show, but I definitely love it. But Caroline, I usually rewatch it every year around October because it fits. I could also go watch The Nightmare Before Christmas or Course Bride, but I think I'm gearing more towards Caroline. So yeah, gonna go watch something and read this later on. So happy. This is one of my favorite shows ever. Okay, so I finished Immortal Dark, and let's first start off by saying I really, really enjoyed this book in the first half. Well, the first 40%. I really enjoyed it because of Kidan and Susenos. I really like the tension between the two and Kidan's hatred towards him. But I honestly thought a character like Kidan would be a bit more smarter. The further I got into this book, the more I realized I kind of started to dislike her a bit because I still love how conniving she is. Honestly, I did. And how cruel she could be. As the book went on, it's like she kind of lost that spark that I really loved about her in the beginning because she just kept on doing some stupid stuff. Like her decisions were easily influenced by others. The way she was set up, she didn't seem like that type of character that would be so easily influenced by every single one around her. And the like tension and drama between her and Susanos was so repetitive. Literally, when the book was almost finishing, I was like, not again. You guys have the same quarrel every time, the same distrust. You trust him, you don't trust him over and over again. I like it when characters have like that enemies to lovers aspect between them where they know they're enemies. Straightforward, right? They do. But as soon as they build that reluctant partnership, they start trusting each other more. But I feel like Kidan never really trusted him at all throughout this book. And that kind of like annoyed me like a lot. And then again, because I really was annoyed with her, I was annoyed with her, but then Susanna's was so not there. He wasn't really in the book. Like you will see him at points, yeah, but he didn't really provide in much for the plot. And then again, the overall plot, I was disappointed with it because I didn't understand how things work out with the world building surrounding the vampires and Yuxley. I feel like it wasn't like fleshed out enough. It needed a bit more details on the vampires and how things work. I think things were just thrown in there at points. I don't know. It felt like stuff was just thrown in there. So a really great start, but not a great ending, I would say. And I'm so disappointed with that thing surrounding her sister June. So disappointed. So yeah, a bit of a disappointing read. I think I'll be giving this one 3.25 stars because I did really love the beginning of it and the potential it had, but it wasn't fleshed out in a way I would expect. It didn't feel like anything exquisite to me. So, but I did really enjoy reading the first part. Just what I found myself saying when I was nearing the end, I started just solely listening to it on audio. Before I was reading along with it because I was enjoying it. But then once I started getting bored with it and it got repetitive with the fights and stuff, and then again, the action wasn't as much as I thought it would be, considering there are vampires in here that have strength and speed. It wasn't much action. So I started getting bored. I just listened to the audiobook and I was like, I can't wait till this is done. It's so boring. I want something more exciting. So yeah, 3.25 stars. Sorry, Immortal Dark, you weren't the greatest read I've had. Now that I got that vampire book done, I felt like it wasn't really a vampire book, to be honest, even though there's literally vampires all over it, but they weren't really doing vampire things. Like maybe one chapter we really had some scenes with fighting and stuff with vampires, but it wasn't really given. But I think I want to read Caraval or Starling House. I did pick up this other one called, what is it? A Rivalry of Hearts. It's like a romantic fantasy between a fairy and a human. So I think it's two writers. One of them is human and one of them is a fairy, and they made this bet with each other. I didn't get far into it last night. I only made it 3% through it on ebook, and I think I'm liking that one a whole lot because it's very unserious. So I'm enjoying it. I wanted something more lighthearted and quick to read. So that's why I picked that one up because I was getting really bored and annoyed with Immortal Dark. So I wanted something that would make me happy. And that one is definitely doing its job. It made me happy. I just went back to read it, finishing Immortal Dark, so I'm a bit meh again. So I'm gonna continue reading that one, I think, and maybe pick up Caraval or Starling House. Why haven't I picked this book up earlier is beyond me. I started Starling House this morning. I've just been reading it nonstop today. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be one of those books where I read in one day because I'm already halfway through it. It's not a long book either. It's only, I think, 300 pages, or like a little over 300, probably 301 or something like that pages. I am loving it so much. Honestly, I don't really know anything. I didn't know anything at all going into this book because I somehow assumed had to do with vampires, but I don't think it does at all. It's more than that, and what it is actually about has me so intrigued. I think if this book has ever caught your interest based off the cover, because this was a cover buy for me. I just really love how the cover looks with the birds, the starlings. If you pick this book up because of the cover and the synopsis sounds mysterious, definitely go into it blind because it's just so good that way. And I'm loving the little bit of romance in here as well. Like it's, oh, I love it so much. It really has this nice, mysterious, and eerie feeling to it that I'm just eating up. So yeah, that's how reading this one has been going, and I'm excited because I was feeling a bit like low about reading recently because of Immortal Dark. That one had me. I was already going into reading slump a little bit, and then I read a book that wasn't as great. So I was like kind of scared that I would probably go into reading slump. But this one definitely has saved me because I'm loving it so much, and I hope it continues to be great because Immortal Dark was going good until the end. I'm a little bit over the 50% mark, and I'm still enjoying it a whole lot. I'm actually loving it more the further I read, so that's great. So it's time to end off this vlog. It's currently Sunday, and I finished two books this week. Currently reading the third one, but not going to finish it today. I'm sure of that because I want to read something else. And that book, I'm enjoying it. It's called Rivalry of Hearts, but I think I want to pick up Caraval. So I also want to start a new vlog. So I'm gonna end this one and start a new one. So yeah, two books read: Immortal Dark and Starling House. So my thoughts on Immortal Dark was that the beginning was really great, and the middle part was okay, but nearing the finale and the overall ending of this book, I was just so bored. I felt like stuff were all over the place. I started disliking the characters, which is a bad sign. So yeah, I gave this one 3.25 stars because it did have a really cool concept overall surrounding the school, Yuxley, and the type of world building with the vampires. I just feel like it wasn't very fleshed out and I didn't understand a lot of stuff. And I felt like some things were contradictory based on what we were told as the reader, but how things were done in the story, I felt like the author forgot that she made these rules for her people and stuff. So yeah, I was a bit meh about this one. But then I read Starling House and I enjoyed this one a whole lot. It has this really dark and mysterious vibe to it that just grasped my attention from page one. Starling House was just so great. I really enjoyed the romance in this one as well because I feel like the two characters in here really have like this very slow, not in your face type of romance, and I adore slow burn romances, and this felt like one of those. It took them months to like finally accept that they like each other and stuff. And even then, it wasn't like outright said, it was more like shown that they like each other, and I like that. But this is not a romance book, so let me stop focusing on the romance. I actually really love it for the mystery surrounding Starling House and how the house basically has this vibe of being like a person. The house has feelings, in my opinion, and the things the house does for the people who live in there. I really love those bits about the house. I don't want to go into too much detail about the house in case you want to read this book, but I'd really like the house itself, and then the overall storyline surrounding the house and the family, the Starlings. I was surprised by the story, and I felt like this read like a fairy tale, which I really love books that read like fairy tales because I'm a fairy tale loving girl. So obviously, I love that. I always like it when a fantasy book just has that really dark fairy tale vibe to it, and this totally gave that. So I enjoyed it a whole lot. I did end up giving it 4.5 stars because it was really good. I read it in one day actually. Like I just could not put this down. Anytime time I had to put it down, I was thinking about the characters, I was thinking about the world, and I was afraid for the characters. I didn't want anything bad to happen to them. That's when you know you really are enjoying the book. So that's a wrap up on the two books I read this week. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Goodbye.